So I'll try and make this short. Yesterday I got this, it's a Clipper 9000 ROK, which stands for Rear Outside Kitchen. So on the outside, now I got this from General RV in Draper, Utah. So it came with two marine batteries, 12 volt, and then one 20, was it 20 pound, 20 gallon? It's not 20 gallons, I think it's 20 pound, 5-gallon tank, which I have off currently. You have to have a 9-pin to run it because it has trailer brakes. Unless, you can obviously tell that I did the wiring on the, this came with a 4-pin stock. It's a 23 Bronco Sport Heritage Limited. It's basically like a Badlands with some other stuff and like an outside paint job. There's my 9-pin that I just mounted by doing a little, damn it, L bracket. But this way I can take it on and off. And I put a 4-pin for the other wires that weren't on the stock 4-pin, so I just have to connect them. And where's the stock 4-pin? Oh, right here. This is a stock 4-pin, so just 2 plugs. Otherwise, they can stow inside of this bumper. But when it's connected, I kind of have this zip tie to hold them up till I shorten up the wires. So here's the spare. I don't like it because it limits ground clearance, and I've heard that people have had problems with, on other trailers at least, with these falling off. It does have 2 nice thick bolts holding it. It looks like they're welded to this U-shaped metal. So that's nice. They're nice and thick, and it has 2 bolts, which is good. There is no battery, override switch to shut off all the power, which kind of sucks. Here's the gas line. Here's your battery lines. It does come with 4 of these stabilizing jacks, one on each corner, which is nice. This is the only outside hatch because it's a very small trailer. And it does have this nice little, on the bigger ones they have magnets. This one still has this little clamp, which I'm sure I'll forget and break. You do get your shore power, which I don't use because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. You get a little table. This is for the jacks. That's for my dog. That's something else. It's a hammock Ford sent me when I ordered my big Bronco. You also get this, which is nice because that end, you can pull up the sink faucet and put that in, and you have kind of like a shower garden hose thing. The one of the few issues I've had with this trailer is the key will not turn this lock, so I can't lock this right now. Comes with, was it 235/75 15 tires, which are about the same size as what the Bronco Sport comes with stock. It's like 29 inches tall and like 9 1/4 wide, I think. Unfortunately, these are Westlake's, which I believe isn't a China brand, but it's like a second-tier brand. I'd rather that they came with less aggressive but brand name tires like a Falcon or BFG or something. We'll see how long those last. Those have about 400 or 500 miles on them. Lots of rock stuck in them. Very nice because you can step on the wheel wells to hold your weight. This is the AC unit. You can't step on that. It does come with a 200-watt solar panel already wired. Mine also came with the optional Thule tent, which I didn't want, but whatever. The problem is that the bracket has already broken. So it's supposed to have a cover like this, and that basically that plastic cap comes off, and there's supposed to be, let me see this metal part right here? The bolts broke and that metal part's gone, so I just have these tiny little screws with or not screws, bolts with washers holding it right now. And this is just plastic. This is metal, but this is just plastic. And if you look in here, that has broken this track. This tent's coming off immediately. I was tempted to just take it off while I was here and push it off and leave it here, but that would be littering, and the tent's worth a lot of money. So I'm probably gonna give it to one of my family or friends or try and sell it. I actually have it on Craigslist if you want to buy it. $1,200. I think they're $1,700 new, cheapest online, and that's for the cheapest Thule model. I'm not sure of the exact model, so I just went off that. So if you want to save $500, you want a roof-off tent, let me know. I'll give you the crossbars. Not giving you the mounts because they're obviously defective and can't take the weight. but I think the crossbars would be okay, although they're aluminum. The tent weighs 100 or 200 pounds, and I just don't trust that. Especially since when I got into Flagstaff about 400 miles into my trip, all highway, except for about a quarter of a mile on a very smooth dirt road, like smoother than this right here, which is not that bad. Anyways, oh yeah, I had to put some warning signs on there. So you get 3 keys. This little key is for this, which doesn't work. I put it in. Oh my god, it actually turns. I must have fixed it. I took it apart earlier and it wasn't turning. And I didn't test it again. Oh, well, that's solved. Nice. Although this isn't pushing in far enough for the this thing on the other side to go in here and lock, but this one is. So then when I do that, that's locked. Problem is that someone could just undo this and crawl into my trailer. Although they'd get a big surprise if someone tried to do that while I'm in the trailer. So you have add a solar as well as the wired solar. So if you have like one of them fold out solar panels, you can plug it in here, but it has to match that hookup. I'm told that not all of them have the same hookup. It has a cable, whatever hookup, like why? This is your power. It's a 30 amp hookup, as 30 amp, I believe. I don't really care because I'm never going to use it. This is to your 27-gallon water tank. The problem is, this is at a very shallow angle, so you have to have pressure, a hose with pressure. Like, I tried to just fill it up with a bottle earlier to see, and it just drips out. So you have to have like a hose shoved in there, or like somehow an adapter that would screw the hose to this so it's sealed. Also wish that had a few more threads. This is your city water, which this just pops off, which I'll probably never use. And then this is for winterizing. I believe you put, what's it called in there? I don't have to worry about that because I'm in Arizona and it'll be stored in Phoenix. This is for the sink. The only place that fresh water from the 27-gallon tank can go is here, to the sink. And it drains here. It doesn't need a gray tank because it just has a sink and whatever. Now, if you were in an RV park, you'd probably have to run that to a drain or something instead of it just dumping out. These gray keys are for the back. You do get 2 of each key. This side locks. This one doesn't have a lock. It just has a thing. Now these, shocks. I can't think of the name. Very powerful. You do get a bottle opener. This is the sink I was talking about, sorry. This, you just pull down on the collar, and this comes out, and that blue hose earlier goes in, and when you put it in, you don't have to pull down on the collar, you just push in. This is for the water pump. Very powerful. Well, not very powerful, but plenty powerful. And then this is for the water heater, but I don't need it right now. And that and this griddle is the only thing that runs off of the propane. Now, with the griddle, you have this locking cable. I haven't used this yet, so it's nice and clean. You've got your grease catch, and then you just, push it in, light it, and then you set it on your level. I don't have the propane turned on, so it won't do anything. Now, you can't leave this hooked up. I've already got some of my stuff in here. So they give you this hose that's just a quick connect hose. You just pop it on there and do the collar. Sorry, it's kind of a pain doing it one-handed. But basically that would sit there. And then over here, it has your one propane out and it has a close valve. And so you push that in, there we go. And I believe it was saying that you can't even open this if there's not something hooked up. So kind of like a safety. Oh, see, I've got these 2 jacks in the rear put down. I didn't do the front ones because it's sitting on the, the little wheel on the jack. And I have it all chalked and everything. It does have this little storage in here. We got some storage up here, very messy and unorganized right now. And then you have this up here. I just have my first aid stuff up there. Put this away. Close this. This is the fridge. It's not on. Hasn't been on. It does have power because of the 2 batteries. I could turn it on, but it would use my batteries up very quickly. But this is where you set it. It does have a little ice box for ice. Not sure how well that works. I'll probably never know. I will eventually put an inverter on here and see how long those batteries last, where I do want to be able to use the fridge eventually, actually. If the batteries ever go, I might upgrade to lithium ion, but we'll see. My buddy says it might not be worth it because they're a lot more sensitive. Oh, it has an awning, but it's manual, and it's not bad, but when you do it alone, it's kind of a pain, because you basically, you will unzip this, and then it has 2 little ties. You just tie kind of like a shoelace, and then it kind of falls out, and at the bottom, there's 2 poles that come down and stick in the ground, and then they did give you stakes, and you stake it in the ground, but it's basically, if there's more than like a 5-mile-an-hour wind, I would put it up. But it is nice to have. And with 2 people, it's not bad. You know, at the dealer, I had them show me everything, test everything, and we put it together in like less than 5 minutes. This didn't come with a trailer, but this is my favorite camping chair. It's one of the rocker ones. They actually have one now that has like a foot fold out too. The only thing I wish it had was a table. It does have a little cup holder. Let's see. So, oh, it does have these steps, which that one folds up. This one you kind of, you lift them up because they go in those. Sorry, it's a pain to do one-handed. I usually get one side up and then the other. But anyways, it just slides up in here, and they haven't fallen out while driving. Let's see, you've got your screen door. Just press that to open it, and then it does have this. Oh, darn bug. Trying to keep them out. And then your regular door. And it has your purple keys are for the door. This one, you do that, and it just locks this. If you do this one, it's more like a deadbolt. You can open this, but not the door. And oh, and you do have some porch lights, and then you have your like running lights. No speakers or anything, but like, why anymore with phones and Bluetooth? That's your furnace. Can't use that without shore power or generator, or at least a very healthy battery setup and big inverter. Same thing, there's your air conditioning unit, just a small window unit. As I understand it, they're both 5,000 BTUs, but I mean, plenty for this. But again, can't use without shore power or generator. Before I forget, we already did all that up there. So coming inside, you do not get a doggy with the trailer. That's mine. You have 2 of these lights. One of them's more than enough. You get a little storage up there. And then I have some stuff in here. I have all my instructions and stuff. You can lift this up, and down there you have more storage. It's the same thing right here. All this underneath, it kind of curves with the front of the trailer, but it's storage. And then these. And then you have this nice little cupboard, which is, I don't know, 18 inches by 2 feet, and it just connects to the outside one. And there's also 2 little doors over there you can go to get to down here. You do get this nice table. Oh, I'm sorry, puppy, I'm sorry. Now, when I was looking at the other trailers, like the Jayco, Forest River, Geo something, they all look like the inside was only as long as this couch, which is 64 inches, or it's a gaucho bed. You basically can pull out this bottom part and make it a bed, and it stops like right here. So it's almost the full width of the trailer. Now the other ones would have maybe a little 6-inch shelf right here, without these, I believe. Maybe, I think they had this, and then they would have a little 6-inch counter that stuck out right here. With this one, it looked like it almost had an extra 2 feet inside. So I got that, plus it came with a lot more stuff that the other ones didn't, except for the, was it the Forest River one? The 12 SRK, but not the Jayco. But that one's a lot more expensive, but it comes with like a inverter stock. But on the smaller one, it's only 1,000 watts. And I forget, it comes with a couple other nice things. But basically, that is the inside. I lie about being 5'7". This is basically where I end up. I'm very sweaty and stinky. I've been driving from Draper, and haven't taken a shower, and I did spend the night camping last night too. Although I could have taken a little shower with that hose if I wanted to. This is the only window. It does have the emergency thing, and then you can lock it out like that. Screen pops out very easily if you want to take the screen out. You do get this nice fan. Basically, turn that on. Oh wait, I gotta open it. So you unlock, and then you twist this to open it. And then you have 4 speeds. Whoops, I pushed the off button. I don't think it's the max fan that everyone likes. I think it's just a generic, because I don't see any brand name on it, but it works well. I haven't even used more than the lowest setting. Basically, I turn this on and I pop that window out, and it makes a super nice breeze in here. There is your door. I don't know. It's the normal size door of all these. It's probably like 4 feet. I think inside here it's like 4 feet 6 inches. Like, I can stand up with just doing my neck like this, so I would guess that it's not quite 5 feet. I wanted to get the 12,000 ROK, which actually is, I believe, 5 foot 10 inches inside, so I could have stood up. It's 10 inches taller on the outside, and what is it? It's 2 feet wider on the sides. But this, I have a Bronco Sport, and that can only tow 2,200 if you have the Badlands with the towing package. This, with that stupid tent, I think comes in at 1,750. I think without the tent, it's like 100 or 200 pounds less. And it towed okay, but I did go up a big hill, and I tried to drive like I didn't have a trailer, and I saw the temperature. It always, on that Bronco Sport, it always sits at 4 dots, and it went up to 5, and so I was like, whoa, and I just backed off and got in the right lane. I've been driving very conservatively with it, but basically I can go 65 without even barely pressing the pedal on a flat road. And then up hills, I can go 65, just barely punching it a little bit. But you do kind of feel the weight. It's not as easy as I thought. Oh, you do have your TV connection. You have a 110 there. You have 110 here, 2 USBs, and then the old cigarette lighter style 12 volt is what I called it, because I'm old. And then this is for the outside lights, which I haven't even used yet. Oh, those are blue. I thought they were white. So that's not going to give you a lot of light out here. But that's about it. So far, only issues was that lock, which seems to be working now. I thought that this wheel with this pin in it, it didn't come on it. I put it on and I was having trouble getting the pin to line up in the holes. But it did, I basically turned it around and it did eventually, so I probably just had it cocked at a weird angle. Only issue I've had is that stupid tent with the mounts messing up. Oh yeah, you can see this is shifting. See how this is right at the edge? And this one is a little further. Those were actually like an inch further on this side before. And these are sticking out way too much. But yeah, so I'm basically gonna have to drive home at 50 miles an hour and at about 3 in the morning, so I don't accidentally kill someone if this falls off. I'm really considering leaving it here and maybe picking it up, but really don't want to do that. But yeah, that's about it. I like this one better than the Coleman because it has a few things the Coleman doesn't. A little more room inside, a little more length. It has a water heater, 6-gallon water heater. And I think that one has a sink, but it doesn't have this thing. Oh, we do have the bottle opener. See, I think it has the exact same fridge though with the refrigerator. Most of them do. The Jayco just comes with a 12 volt cooler and no sink, but I believe it has a hose hookup. And I don't think it has a water heater. And it doesn't have all the cabinetry. It's basically just like a cooler here and then a little bit of a table. And then there's the, what is it? The Geo Pro 12 SRK. That's a little bit nicer than this. But again, it doesn't have this table. I believe they're all like 1.5 feet, 2 feet shorter because they're basically just the couch. And then there's a tiny little counter here and here, but it does come with like the inverter. It does have solar on all of them. water heater in it. It has everything this has except for the extra room inside, and then the inverter and something else. But they're like 9,000 more, I think, going by MSRP. But it's working good. I slept in it last night, and I slept only on this mattress, and I was fine. You know, a lot of people say that the stock mattresses aren't enough, but for me, it was enough. Basically, just put my pillows there, and it was long enough I could lay down perfectly flat. Problem is my car is air suspension, so I had to put all the compressor and tank and stuff where the spare tire was. So normally I have a little mount that comes out here that holds the spare tire, but you can't do that when you need to hook up the trailer. So for right now, I just have the spare tire sitting in there, and then I have the the mount I've got in here. I need to figure out a different. Oop! Don't look at that. Here's the mount. I have it just kind of sitting in here for now. This I used to have to bring camping with me, and it was filled with all my stuff. I now have it all in the drawers in there, so that's super nice. One thing nice about the air suspension, I have this hooked up to the tank. I can actually hook up air tools to this, or like a air spray or anything that uses air if I want to. But it is, you know, it's only a 3-gallon tank, so it just doesn't last as long. I think I fit. Oh, it does have this little pet thingy, I guess, and then it's got this door hold, which I believe a lot of reviews says breaks pretty much immediately. I haven't even been using it. That's the first time I've hooked it up. There's my Harbor Freight wheel chock. I think that's it. It is nice. You can step on these on both sides. Some of them don't have that. Again, some of them don't have the awning. You know, it has pretty much everything that I wanted, except for I'll be adding an inverter later. I think that's it. And then if you get the 12,000, it's, again, a little smaller inside. You get a little toilet. It's not hooked up to a black tank, but it has a little 5-gallon thing that pulls out, and it has like a full-size Murphy bed that kind of folds up. But again, it weighed like 2150 dry, and it has a 27-gallon water tank. So I couldn't even fill up the water, and I would be over the tow limit on this. Which is weird because the Ford Escape can tow 3,500 pounds with the 2-liter engine, which is what this has. And the Maverick can tow 4,000 pounds with the 2-liter engine and the towing package. I assume it's just from the softer off-road suspension and they're a little higher. I know with this one, which is like a Badlands, they get an extra inch lift kit. Although that's gone because I have the air suspension, the bags everywhere. But I do have it running at the stock height. So I was going to chance it, and I'm glad I didn't, because it's the only I've never towed really before, except with some Humvees and a few emergency situations, and those suck because they don't even use a ball. It's basically a circle and then another circle, and so every time you speed up or stop, they go cuckoo, 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 and so there's a lot of jerking. This actually does jerk on bumps a bit. I was freaked out about it in the first hour, but I talked to my friends and they said it's not that big of a deal. All trailers do that. Again, this is nice if I would say it's about 2 more inches, so 5'8" or 9. You can stand under this, so if it's raining. And then they do make little curtains that can go around it. Let's see. Oh, here, I'll go ahead and show you how and then you pull this out. That locks. I don't remember if I showed you that. So if I wanted to take a shower, you pop that out. And you just push that in, turn on your water. Whoop, what was that? Oh, what did I do? And then, oh crap, I left the water. Oh, you know what? I think I'm out of water now. Or actually, this thing's tilting a little bit. It's weird though, because the sink was working. Wonder if I just went through the last of the water. But again, you just push that collar down. Push that back in. Let me see. Also, it does have to fill up this entire hose of water. Let me see. Oh, there's water. So, that's weird. I must not have had it hooked on all the way. So see, that kind of water kind of stays in there in the faucet. So it's got to kind of fill this up. It worked great at the dealer. I think I'm just really low on water. Oops, sorry. Yeah, that is on. I don't know why the hose isn't working now, but it was working before. I assume just not enough water to fill up that hose. When I took it off before, you had to drain the whole hose out. Yeah, I see some water's coming out. So I'm probably super low on water. So I'm going to turn that off. I don't want to hurt the pump. I assume that usually with those water pumps, the water helps lubricate it and keep it cool. So you don't want it to run if there's no water in there. Go ahead and put this back. I haven't used the grill for cooking, but we did test it at the dealer and it got hot pretty darn fast. It's basically a copy of the Blackstone brand name one. I think they called it Greystone. Blackstones aren't that expensive. I think I saw them at an RV place for $200. I don't know why they go with the cheaper one, but it seems to work fine. It'll be easier to cook on that than the fire if I don't want to get a bunch of black smoke on all my pans and stuff. I think I've covered everything. Again, it's a very small, very simple trailer. You don't have black tanks to deal with. You don't have gray tanks to deal with. You just have one 27-gallon freshwater. You have a small inside. You can't even use the AC or furnace unless you're hooked up. But the batteries do seem to last long with the lights and the fan and the water pump and stuff. I think that's about it. I don't need those on. Doesn't come with a power jack, but who cares? It's not that hard. I think that's about it. So I'm going to end it before I just drone on, not saying anything. You can post any questions if you want, and I'll probably get back to you in like 2 years. Sorry, I just don't really watch those. Don't really care about subscribers and stuff.